You saw the banner there wishing well to Jamesy O'Connor, and Jamesy we saw running out onto the field, and I'm sure that Jamesy will be feeling some special thoughts here today, because James is actually a Galway man. He was born in Galway, and as a young fella supported the Galway hurlers when they won that All-Ireland title. There's our in 1980. Today he plays for Clare, and he faces Galway in this All-Ireland semi-final. The Galway supporters, mind you, there is the aforementioned James O'Connor. Sure, an awful lot depends on James O'Connor today.
He's got a major role to play for Clare today. They'll be looking for a performance from him similar to what he did in the Munster final, because he met a lot of problems in the Munster final. But overall, the field, proud to say here we have to produce the same passionate play as we produced in the Munster final, and possibly a little bit more with it to win this game today.
Okay, Gerard, thank you. Let's for the moment go to another Gerard. That's our match commentator for the big game. Gerard Canning, good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to you as well, Michael, and your panel. Yes, what a welcome that Clare received 63 years on from their last appearance in an All-Ireland hurling semi-final, and the bannerman from Clare returning to this hurling mecca of Croke Park. Gerald Loughlin, the sparrow, there on the right-hand side of that picture. What a famous photograph this will be. And David Fitzgerald, Pat's son, the goalkeeper, a little bit nervous when he came in around 5 minutes to 3. And not surprisingly, Clare named the same 15 as started against Limerick in the Munster final, and even then the only positional switch between both match programmes involved Jamesy O'Connor and Fergal Hegarty. That hardly needs emphasis, as O'Connor started at midfield and Hegarty began at wing forward. The Lohan brothers in the full back line, Brian and Frank, are sons of Gus, who diplomatically played for both Galway and Clare, while there are others with a leg in each county. After all, it is a local derby match, essentially involving East Clare and South Galway. And mention of Galway, here they come. Getting a big ovation. Their fans up there on Hill 16. John Connolly, one of the selectors, making his way out. They get a big noisy welcome as well. Phelan Murphy, the secretary, was telling me that they sold their 10,000 allotted tickets more or less straight away, and come on the town. And coming in to have the photographs taken then, Nigel Shaughnessy in the centre alongside his team captain Sean Tracy. A big honour indeed for Sean to captain this side in the absence of Pat Malone. And Galway selectors surprised many among their own following with the omission of their captain, and the non-selection of Tom Helibert and Michael Hopper-McGrath, not to mention the classy wing-back Micheál Donoghue. Sean Tracy, as I say, takes over the captaincy and is joined at the full back line by Conor O'Donovan and Christy Helibert. Jerry McInerney starts at left half back, while Nigel Shaughnessy moves into midfield, and the mainstays in attack will continue to be Joe Rabbit and Joe Cooney. We should have a great match.
Joining me here on the sideline is Clare manager Ger Loughlin. Ger, you waited a long day for today. A long time, rather.
A long time indeed. 63 is a very long time, but all of Clare teams have travelled up here today. There's saffron and blue all over the place, so I'm sure it's going to be a great day.
Your team came out of that dressing room like dogs out of traps. They're fired up, I'd say.
Well, we're really geared up for this. Munster final is long behind us now. It's a very hot day. It's going to be a very fast day here. It's going to be a very hard day on players, but I think we're ready for it.
It's a brilliant scene, isn't it, Croke Park today?
Absolutely fantastic. Looking around here, it's what I suppose sport is all about, you know. And I suppose the unique thing about it here is that your Galway and Clare fans mingled in together, which is fantastic. The atmosphere is absolutely electric, and let's hope the game matches that now.
Where's the vital sector in the pitch today, do you think?
Well, from number 1 to 15, every one of them are vital. Every sector is vital today. I suppose midfield, half-back, half-forward lines are the most vital of all, but I think it's going to be a real battle in these conditions today. A very hard battle, a very hard day on players.
I know you want to go and talk to your players, but we wish you the very best of luck.
Thanks very much.
So Ger Loughlin certainly looks composed. Many of his team, I think, were a little edgy when I saw them about 45 minutes ago. By comparison, Galway looked a little bit more composed. Of course, they've been here many times before, Tomás Mulcahy.
That's right, Ger, you know, and from past experience with myself being inside in that dressing room, you know, on your first All-Ireland semi-final, I mean, the tension that must be inside in these guys, you know. But I suppose the good thing from them is that they get out on the field, you know, have a few pucks and try and get that tension out of their system as quickly as possible.
Yes, a packed house and a sunny afternoon.
Yes, welcome back again. Yes, a great day for Clare. But DJ Carey, we've talked about what a great day it is for Clare. Real question is, are they going to win this All-Ireland semi-final?
Well, I think if they repeat their Munster championship performance, they will. but then it's hard to know what Galway are going to come out with. But with this crowd and everything behind there, I think I'd fancy him today.
You fancy it there?
I do.
All right, so says DJ Carey on that note. We take a commercial break. Back after that for the second All-Ireland hurling semi-final.
Score extra points at half-time with a quick cheese break. Make more of it with cheese.
For top quality home and motor insurance, call us first at First Call Direct, a guaranteed Irish company and proud holders of the quality mark.
In Galway, Ryan's great summer sale is now on. Spectacular bargains in menswear, ladieswear and children's wear. Anthony Ryan's, Galway.
For quality farm and industrial buildings in the West and Midlands, contact the experts. That's Garvey's of New Inn. Phone Garvey's at 0905 75823.
In Galway, JJ Fleming are main Opel dealers. They also provide a superb backup service. Join a winning team with JJ Fleming and Opel.
For zero infections and zero losses, Zero Fen all-year-round wormer from Chanel. Zero Fen, the best defense in the field.
Oh, Danny boy.
Buster and Allen's Ireland.
We are an island way out on the sea.
Enjoy 30 of your favourite Irish songs and melodies on double CD and cassette.
If we only
Buster and Allen's Ireland. Now available Sky Music record shops, duty-free Dublin Airport.
Lunch or dinner or a late night snack, you can have a piece at Supermax. Burgers, pizza, chicken or fish, all day long, whatever you wish. It's a family place, but you can go in alone like a home from home. It's Ireland, or try it once, you'll keep on coming back for the super value, super meals, and Supermax.
New from Lynx. Africa, where man began.
Players of Galway and Clare march behind the RTE Boys Band at Croke Park on the first Sunday in August for their All-Ireland hurling semi-final. And as they go around by the canal end into the Clare flags, because that is mainly populated by Clare people on this sunny afternoon, we hand over for match commentary to Ger Canning.
Yes, indeed. What a setting this is. Absolutely splendid, even down there, I'm sure, on the subs bench right now. They've played their part as well in putting pressure on the first 15. The neighbours against the neighbours from East Clare, which is the hurling stronghold in the Banner County, and from South Galway up to Athenry. It really is a local derby contest in every sense of that word, and you cannot be certain by any manner of means what's going to happen here. But the pattern will settle down fairly quickly, that you can be sure. And the new stand, the new Cusack away on the far side now in front of which the two teams parade, looking absolutely magnificent. Every vantage point is captured. Way up on the very top, up in the gods, what a view they must have right now. This heavenly setting, the saffron and blue against the maroon and white. Who would have bet on Clare versus Galway in the second of the All-Ireland semi-finals at the start of this championship? Not that many. And Michael O'Hare there in the background enjoying this match in one of the boxes, and I'm sure he certainly will enjoy it. I remember in 1985, I think it was the last commentary he did here, it was an All-Ireland semi-final. Galway were involved as well. Were you playing that day? It was a terrible afternoon.
Terrible afternoon, Ger, that's right. And I think Galway pipped Cork that day by a couple of points.
Well, it's the complete opposite this afternoon. My mind wandered back at about 1:30 when we came in here this afternoon to an absolutely appalling day, the club final back on St. Patrick's Day. Then we complained about the wretched elements, but today no complaints. Lovely, balmy, hot day. It'll be very difficult for the players, of course. And it's Sean Tracy at the head of the Galway team, written off by many people. But I don't think you can write off a Galway team which has got such experience in its ranks. Winners here at senior level, under 21 and minor, and that in recent years. Joe Cooney there from the Sarsfield club, and Liam Burke just completing the lineup there from Kilconairon. The man at the back there for Clare is Gerald Loughlin from Clare Castle. There must be 26, 27, 28,000 here from Clare, maybe more than that. Galway with a huge representation as well. And they've got the Galway races, and we've got Show Rabbit and whatever else, and we're going places. They hope they will. They'll be back here again next Sunday, of course, and that'll be the football semi-final, the first of those against Tyrone, the Ulster champions. But for now, the concentration is on hurling. The championship now down to just 3 teams. And the All-Ireland final just 4 weeks away, and that grand old trophy, the Liam McCarthy Cup, beckoning. Who will it be against Offaly, the defending All-Ireland champions, on the first Sunday in September? The huge screen in the background, they're calling it here in Dublin the Big Telly. And everybody looking up every so often to see if their picture is in there. And these are the pictures they're getting right now. I tell you, a setting like this is worth living for. Let's hope now we have all the passion and all the drama of these two fine teams can summon up. Sean Tracy encouraging his lads. And you can be certain as well that Anthony Daly, the opposite captain for the banner county of Clare, will also be trying to summon up that extra bit of energy and resolve from his charges. Galway won the toss. And a check once again as Sean Tracy, the team captain, is positioned there at full-back. Jerry McInerney at wing-back this afternoon. Michael Coleman and Nigel Shaughnessy in midfield. And Joe Cooney, great old star that he is, number 14. And Clare this afternoon unchanged from that marvellous win they had on July the 9th against Limerick in the Munster final. And that means the Lohan brothers are in the full-back line there in front of, or behind Shawnee McMahon, who recovered from a broken shoulder to play in that match. It's Jamesy O'Connor now at midfield and Fergal Hegarty at wing forward. The ingredients are there, and let's hope it lives up to its billing. Frankie Gavin there, one of the great men of music, up there on the stand side here, standing up just so he can be seen. And there he is on the right-hand side. And Frankie Gavin and Noel Hill, of course, a great combination in music. Let's hope the two sides now give us a great match as we stand in Ish the Out on the Vian. All-Ireland semi-final. Dickey from Wexford, assisted by Pat Delaney and Tommy McIntyre, the linesmen. Galway vastly superior at this level of competition. Clare, the Munster champions for the first time in 63 years. And the match is underway, and James O'Connor has straight away moved to wing forward, and straight away Galway go into the attack. Michael Coleman leaving it there for Justin Campbell. Campbell trying to set Galway on their way in towards Joe Cooney, broken down instead by Frank Lowen. Lowen outside to Shonny McMahon. McMahon way downfield, turning the fence into attack. Conor Clancy in pursuit there with Sean Tracy. That went off Clancy's legs, and the umpire got it spot on. So are they pulling a fast one on us here, do you think, Tomás, with Jamesy going back into left half forward straight away?
Yes, could be, Jerry, you know, but maybe after a while I'd say we could see Jamesy coming back out there again, you know. Initially at the start, everybody's chopping and changing, and it's really interesting to see how the game develops in there.
Huge puck out by Richie Burke. They have the wind of the first half, Galway. It's McMahon again who breaks it up, hoping to get the better of his contest there with Joe Rabbit. So many vital tussles all around the park this afternoon. There's not the usual lush covering of grass that you expect at this time of the year, but I suppose that a testament to the recent weather conditions. It's fairly tight, looks a bit parched in areas, as David Fitzgerald hits that ball way down, batted out by Sean Tracy, and he scores the Sparrow. He puts it over the bar. Gerald Loughlin has the credit of getting the first Clare point in an All-Ireland semi-final for 63 years. This was a very good point from play after it was batted down. Sean Tracy got up magnificently, but waiting for it and anticipating was Gerald Loughlin from Clare Castle. Clare in front. Liam Doyle making a very positive start. Indeed, the entire Clare half back line's quick to settle. Not a good stroke, however. Michael Coleman providing the fodder inside, runs on too long. Davy Fitzgerald. Penalty here, of course, in Thurles about 4 weeks ago. That was prodded on there by Fergie Toohey, but it'll be a Galway sideline ball.
Certainly a good start here by the Clare half back line, and that has been the launch pad for the victories in Munster this year so far, you know, and it'll be very important for them to keep that up today.
Here's Jerry McInerney who's going to take this. You'll remember Jerry, I suppose, from about 10 years ago. I think he made his championship debut in 1986 and then came to prominence with the white boots. Back to the black variety this afternoon. In towards Ollie Fahy, taken instead by Anthony Daly. James O'Connor misses it, runs on well to Conor Clancy. Cross towards Stephen McNamara's corner. Jerry McInerney is back there anticipating. Drives the ball to midfield towards Michael Coleman. Ollie Baker leaving it behind there. Clancy hand-passing it. Inside towards Fergal Hegarty. Runs on to Nigel Shaughnessy of Galway. The settling down stages. It's Joe Cooney getting there ahead of Brian Lohan. And the referee says you took too many steps, and that's going to be a free down for Clare. Joe doing an awful lot of good work coaching around the New Inn Boulogne area in County Galway. This again is where Joe took possession and where the referee decided he took a step too many. Two touches as well. Runs in, caught well. Brendan Keogh towards Justin Campbell, read instead by Anthony Daly, the Clare team captain. Long ball. McNamara and Clancy. Clancy has it. The partial block there by Sean Tracy. Trying to take it up onto a stick again. Is PJ O'Connell. And that's gone just to the left of the post. They're protesting inside about it. Certainly Conor Clancy's protesting.
Certainly was very close, you know, Ger, and great start by Clare, you know, they look very, very fit.
This one started out as it was going wide and then seemed to veer in, but it was a tight one. So just a point to show for the opening 4 minutes and a little over. Micheál McGloin, the team doctor for Galway, long time associated with Galway teams. Nigel Shaughnessy not making such great headway with it, but they gain an extra 10 metres or so. Went off a Clare man.
That's one of the Clare selectors, Michael McNamara, in there, along with Tony Considine and Ger Loughnane. They wait inside. Frank Lohan marking Francis Ford. Nigel Shaughnessy looking for a bit more elevation this time. Stopped by Liam Doyle. They converge on him quickly. Nothing given away easily in this All-Ireland semi-final. Here's Liam Burke foraging. Bad ball, straight to Ollie Baker. Downfield towards Gerald Loughlin, the only scorer so far. A sting taken off that one by a little touch by Conor O'Donovan. PJ O'Connell, what a match he played against Limerick. That's carried on there neatly. Won well by Sean Tracy. The clearance by Brendan Keogh. Here's Michael O'Halloran, the 6 Mile Bridge man. Justin Campbell trying to get onto it. Likewise Ollie Baker at midfield. PJ O'Connell whips on it in towards Conor Clancy. 45 metres out, trying to sell the hand pass outside, but again it's Sean Tracy who sticks like a leech to the full forward. Joe Rabbit drifting towards midfield. It's Michael Coleman who has it. Again a long ball favouring the goalkeeper. They've done that a couple of times and the corner forwards have been too far back. The clearance won back here by Nigel Shaughnessy. Galway look for their first point of the match, and that's gone away to the left. First wide by Galway. There were 2 by Clare already. Well, they were saying in Athenry when I was up there on Tuesday night that if this Galway team clicks, well, they'll really play well. But the question is whether or not they've got the combination right.
That's it, Jerry, you know, and we've seen what Clare have done in the Munster Championship, but nobody knows to see what Galway can produce today. And I mean, they've produced some unbelievable performances in Ireland semi-final days, and the Galway people will be hoping to do the same today.
Good long ball by David Fitzgerald. Stephen McNamara beaten for it by Christy Halliburtt. This comes out neatly here to Pádraig Kelly. Kelly, good ball downfield. Away from Francis Ford by Frank Lohan. Shawny McMahon. Down towards Fergie Toohey, the breaking ball. Nigel Shaughnessy in there challenging. Likewise Brendan Keogh for Galway. PJ O'Connell one-handed, having to kick it forward. Christy Halliburtt. It really is frantic stuff so far. Good ball forward into space here towards Ollie Baker. And that's taken by Conor O'Donovan, a very, very stylish defender, O'Donovan. One of Galway's best. Justin Campbell under the breaking ball, challenged by Shawny McMahon, whose jersey's been ripped in the early exchanges. Galway's sideline ball. Well, fast and furious and without a real pattern so far. But then semi-finals can so often be like that when they're coldly analysed. So much at stake at this level, this stage. Knocked forward there by Fergus Toohey. Jamesy O'Connor towards Gerald Loughlin. Conor O'Donovan alongside him. Sean Tracy. Really he's in charge so far in that duel with Conor Clancy. Missed there by Michael O'Halloran. Nervous start. Picked up by Ollie Fahy. Fahy one of 4 under-21s in this Galway team, playing this afternoon. A good block down by O'Halloran. Followed his man well, but it comes back to Fahy again. Here's a good chance, and he takes it. And the sides are level. Fahy from Gort in South County Galway. Well, this is where he benefited well. There was a very good block down there, but when the ball came back again from that little nudge forward, it was picked up by the Galway player, and he put it over the bar. Nigel Shaughnessy contesting in there with Fergal Hegarty. That's Jerry McInerney. This is his platform. A big occasion. Justin Campbell bottled up there by Ollie Baker. Pádraig Kelly one-handed forward again towards Justin Campbell. His marker is Anthony Daly. Into space comes Michael Coleman. Towards Joe Cooney. Runs on towards Liam Burke. And back there goes another Liam Doyle of Bodyke in County Clare. Fergal Hegarty under the dropping ball over there with Nigel Shaughnessy, and the Clare player indicted by the referee. Hegarty from Kilnamona decides to dispense with the black helmet.
It's interesting to see Ger there at the very start there that Joe Cooney has been playing away out from full forward and has left an awful lot of space in behind him. Now either the corner forwards are going to have to capitalise on that, or else the ball is going to run into David Fitzgerald in goal, and we've seen that happening on 1 or 2 occasions already.
Well, Joe has decided to come out and take responsibility here from the 65. Dropped in dangerously. Brian Lowen on his knees. Liam Burke somehow got a block there. It was Frank Lowen that got the block on it, assisting his brother Brian. And they were really looking at considerable danger from that free by Joe Cooney. Watch as Brian Lowen ended up on his knees here and needed his brother to come across and assist him with that sweeping clearance out of defence. Nigel Shaughnessy taking his third sideline cut. Ollie Baker is back there. One of the heroes from Thurles towards Jamesy O'Connor. Closely marked so far by Pádraig Kelly. Unable to make a major impact indeed. Here's Justin Campbell. Campbell getting away from Daly, and that's over the bar. And Galway go in front. Campbell's first point. So the two wing forwards now for Galway have scored. And this was set up there initially by Pádraig Kelly, getting away quite easily from the man he's marking, who's Jamesy O'Connor, and that was taken in quite some considerable style by Campbell. Ollie Baker breaking it down with the right hand, following it up himself, sending it towards the wing forward. Jerry McInerney in there trying to deny Jamesy O'Connor. Fergie Toohey the one, in fact. And that's going to be a free to Galway. And they're showing their greater experience of this big occasion in these early minutes. Clare may have got the first point, but it's Galway have settled better. Christy Helibert, as Galway play with the wind, prodded on there by Justin Campbell just a little bit. Seanie McMahon trying to take it away from Ollie Fahy. Fahy having difficulty getting it up onto his stick, trying to play the ground stroke. That's swept away there by Ollie Baker towards Fergie Toohey. Toohey against Jerry McInerney and also Nigel Shaughnessy. 2 against 1, and Toohey causing some consternation. Baker trying to come in to assist, and instead it's Liam Burke who takes it up. Burke from Kilkenarren in Galway, beating off the challenges of 3 Clare players. Clare standing back somewhat. Baker with clever stick work, taking it away there from the attention of Joe Cooney. Good relieving clearance, very near the sideline. Jerry McInerney in full flight. The linesman over there, who is Tommy McIntyre. Colin Flynn there in the centre of that group reminds me to say hello to Eugene Leonard from Fox Rock, whose heart and soul is here, but not up to it this afternoon, I'm told, but wished well. So Fergal Hegarty to take it. Low inside towards PJ O'Connell, not exerting much of an influence so far against Brendan Keogh, but it's early stages. Hegarty going in again, using his strength, a determined run forward. Clare looking for a few scores just to settle down. Pádraig Kelly. The cheers are from the Galway fans right now, but Clare people urging on their team. Inside towards Francis Ford, being marked by Frank Lowen. Lowen wins it to Seanie McMahon. A good one by McMahon, causing some problems inside for Clancy here. Conor Clancy getting away from Sean Tracy, goes back however. That's great full back play by Sean Tracy, the Galway captain on the day. Stephen McNamara did enough to get the ball towards Jamesy O'Connor. Now Nigel Shaughnessy, leaving it for Ollie Fahy. Seanie McMahon says, I'll take it up. But there's a Galway man in pressurising. That Galway man was Joe Rabbit. Now the other Joe Cooney. Sent outside towards Justin Campbell. Galway leading by a point. The jersey pulled. The jersey of Justin Campbell hauled back by Anthony Daly. So Galway have the free. And this, the reason why. Well, that was when Justin Campbell was on his way. They make good sturdy jerseys, but that was tested to the limit. And Joe Cooney puts it over the bar. His first point coming from a free. I'll tell you, there's some noise, there's some atmosphere around here.
There's a great atmosphere out there, and at the other end of the field you can see the Galway half-back line have steadied themselves very much so as well, you know, and great battle there between Pádraig Kelly and James O'Connor on this side of the field.
Here they are again. There that Tomás was mentioning, there was an accidental blow there There were all eyes on the ball. Kelly coming off just slightly the worse for wear. This time last year he had a very unhappy afternoon in the All-Ireland semi-final when he was really played out of position. Started at midfield, I seem to remember, ended up playing in the forwards. Back in his best position, wing back. Kelly the taker. Didn't get much length into it. Nigel Shaughnessy anticipating. Sent in. Oh, dropped by O'Halloran. And he needed his full-back to assist him, Brian Lohan. I'm sure he'll settle down now and play some wonderful hurling that he's really capable of. Likewise, Conor Clancy here. And that's gone just to the right. A third wide for Clare. Well, Clancy just for once there getting the measure in his duel with Sean Tracy. But nothing accruing. Richie Burke switching the direction of his puck out towards Ali Fahy. Galway doing well in several positions all over the field. Clare, you feel, still to settle. That's Hegarty. Good ball inside. Here's a great chance. Gerald O'Clough on the goal! The score that Clare have looked for. And they go back in front, and it's the Sparrow once again. It's come in the 17th minute, and it was Fergal Hegarty who provided the fodder. Dreadful defending for once by Galway, and in crept Gerald O'Clough. Well, the goalkeeper, Richie Burke, hadn't much chance here. Dispensed with the hat, but he needed more than the hat to keep this shot out, right in the corner. Back live with the action. Now, what will be the Galway response to this minor body blow coming as it does about 17 minutes or so into the first half? Will that rock Galway's composure? It's a tense, anxious occasion for politicians, for mentors, for players. Here's Pádraig Kelly. That's a great ball, but there's nobody in the corner. They're having to chase after it. And in the end, an easy one for the defence, doing just enough. But time and again we've seen Galway from half-back and in particular from midfield send in balls over the Clare full back line, and it's either gone to David Fitzgerald or gone wide.
That's right, sure, and it's too early in the game for Galway to be bringing players out the field and the whole lot. I mean, they would be better if they stuck to their positions. And again, Joe Coney was found out at centre forward there at that stage, and Liam Burke had moved into full forward position, but the ball had gone out to Liam Burke's position.
Over the head of Pádraig Kelly, but that's Brendan Keogh. There were many who said in the build-up to this that he wouldn't have the measure of PJ O'Connell in terms of physique and so on. O'Connell, you remember, really ran his way through the Limerick defence in the Munster final, and so far that particular game plan hasn't been tried here. Anthony Daly, PJ O'Connell. Clare switching their half forwards. Jamesy O'Connor is now right half forward. Here's PJ O'Connell again. So to send it a lobbing ball. They wait for it inside. Nigel Shaughnessy there. Christy Halibert as well. This is Stephen McNamara. McNamara trying to go through the eye of a needle. Does so. Short into gripping the stick, and that's scared over the bar. That really could have gone anywhere. So Stephen McNamara, the point scorer here, right on the corner. Look as he took it away from Nigel Shaughnessy. Watch this for the determined run through. There you go, boom, out of my way. Shorten the grip on the stick, and the goalkeeper had to touch it over with his left hand. Here's McNamara once again. This grandson of Jackie Power, nephew of Ger, the great Kerry footballer who's played here at Croke Park so many times with great distinction. Christy Halibert. That goal has certainly settled down Clare. Anthony Daly hoping to lead his charges into the promised land and a final here in 4 weeks' time against the champions. But it's a long way to go yet. Anybody's match. And here's Joe Cooney given space, and that's all he needs. A second point for Cooney, the first from play. And so now just a point between the teams. It's funny that in spite of all their experience, Galway come into this match as underdogs by and large for many people. I'm not sure the bookies actually put it that way. Not sure they were taking too much of a chance. Here's Justin Campbell. Galway players, I feel, felt that they had a lot to do for their own pride. They want to show their battling qualities, and they're certainly not prepared to be swept aside.
I think if we could see that again, Gerald, that was a line ball to Clare, I must say. I think it went off the Galway forward.
That's the way it looked, certainly. But it goes Galway's way. So the tension inside. Francis Ford against Frank Lohan. Pádraig Kelly cutting it up. That's a great cut. Batted down by Lohan to Joe Cooney! And it's tapped over the bar. And the sides are level. Joe Cooney's points, 2 in rapid succession. And level now for the second time in this Guinness All-Ireland semi-final. All of that coming from the sideline ball and touched in eventually. But by our reckoning here, it should have been a sideline ball the other way. All immaterial. Sean Tracy winning a good ball there against Conor Clancy. Missed by Jerry McInerney. Comes out to Ollie Baker. A block there which Nigel Shockleys was involved in. And so too Jerry Mack, as they call him. Ollie Baker, the referee, sounds the whistle. Calls back the play, breaking up the stalemate.
But it's interesting, Joe Cooney has held his position there for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and he scored 2 points in play out of it.
In an under-21 match recently, he scored 2-5 against the Galway under-21s. This comes out towards Fergal Hegarty. Hegarty hand-passing it into space, intended for Fergie Toohey, who's made that switch with wings. It's Toohey now, who is in there challenging Pádraig Kelly. Likewise, Stephen McNamara. Good determined hurling here by Galway. Francis Ford trying to get more into the match. Brian Lohan keeping it away from the attentions of Joe Cooney. The ball downfield, the intentions well read by Sean Tracy. Well caught. Taken neatly here by Fergal Hegarty. It's Hegarty and Baker at midfield for Clare. Toohey now left half forward. Trying to come away there from Michael Coleman. Nicely inside towards Stephen McNamara. McNamara bearing down. It's a goal! It's another Clare goal! McNamara the scorer. After the last Clare goal, Pat Fitzgerald, the county secretary, looks mighty pleased. Well, he might be. This was set up by Fergie Toohey, showing the younger legs against Michael Coleman. A good inviting ball inside, taken away well here by McNamara from Helibert and into the back of the net. This is a great spell of the match now for Clare, and we're slow to settle. Cross towards Jamesy O'Connor, held on for dear life, taking it away from Jerry McInerney. The younger Clare players asserting themselves right now, and that's sent straight between the posts. Jamesy O'Connor, the point scorer. Jamesy from the county football champions in Clare, if you can believe, from St Joseph's Dura Bearfield. 2-3 to 5 points. Well, this is what the Clare following came to Croke Park to see. A scoring blitz. Subs, I'm sure, wondering if they'll be called into action. Not if Clare keep on applying the finishing like this. McMahon batting it down.
And straight away there, Galway has switched Jerry McInerney back over to the other side and put Pádraig Kelly back over and Jamesy O'Connor. Obviously they think he's a big threat to them and put Pádraig Kelly back over to mark him.
Which is as you were, of course, because that's the pairing alignment that we had at the beginning of the match. But in opposite ends of the field right now, or corners of the field.
Galway were very disappointed with the 2 goals they've conceded, Jar. Obviously the first one was slipped by the cornerback, and again Christy Helibert seemed very slow there to commit himself to go and take the ball in front of the forward.
But this is something that Clare did this year, quite deliberately. They brought in younger players, and they're playing the game at a faster pace. But here's a youngster from Galway, it's Ollie Fahy. Fahy towards Joe Cooney. Instead it's picked up there by Brian Lohan. Liam Burke, captain Galway to under-21 honours 2 years ago. An awkward enough angle, makes the most of it and puts it over the bar. That's a great point by Liam Burke. So now just 3 points between the teams. I think it's very important for the players to take in as much liquid as possible during this match. We heard John Tracy yesterday in the commentary from Gothenburg in the women's marathon saying that it was important for the women athletes to take in water early rather than suffer dehydration, and it's that kind of hot afternoon, really steamy hot conditions. Michael Coleman. Fergie Toohey tried to take it up, that's over the sideline, that'll be a Galway ball. So just to confirm, as you see right now, Jerry McInerney right half back and Pádraig Kelly away on the left. So will Clare at this stage be modestly happy?
I would think so, Jerry, you know, and just listening to you talking about the game that they're trying to play off, so you've got to be very fit, you know, and Clare proved that in Munster. Their main strength at the moment is their fitness and their never say die attitude, you know, and that can win matches for you.
This is towards Francis Ford. Ford against Frank Lowen. Can he get the better of the corner back? He's put it out over the end line. Joe Rabbit appealing that it might have been a 65. This is a very fine young talent, Francis Ford, but he did clearly carry the ball out over the end line just before that was swept back in, I think. Nigel Shaughnessy takes it down well, attracting 3 Clare men to him, one of them PJ O'Connell. Shaughnessy stopped by Michael O'Halloran. James O'Connor, the unmistakable style, cross towards Gerald Loughlin, who's knocked out by a collision of players as play continues. It comes out to Michael Coleman. The referee going to blow it up because of an accidental collision of heads. And it seemed to me that Gerald Loughlin was the one who came off second best.
I think Jerry McInerney there going back towards his ongoing plays with the 2 players coming out.
Well, we had an accidental clash of heads, you may remember as well, in the semi-final 2 years ago when it was Galway against Tipperary, and then play was held up during the second half. I think it was Rémi Ryan was the player who was injured on that occasion, and thankfully, like Rémi, Gerald Loughlin is back on his feet again. Christy Helibert from Ballindereen seemed to damage his chest as well as he was going into that tussle. Joe Rabbit has now moved to right half forward. Justin Campbell is centre half forward for Galway. Both matches this afternoon been played in a wonderful spirit. Not a foul stroke, thankfully, but just great committed play. That's touched down by Brian Lowen. Galway can be dangerous here. Lowen appreciating that. On his own 13-metre line, he makes the clearance. Pádraig Kelly was batting at fresh air. On towards Clancy, doesn't get onto it. They're wondering where it's gone to. It's with Jerry McInerney, now Michael Coleman. Inside towards Justin Campbell. Remember now he's the man on the 40 against Shawley McMahon. Comes out towards Ollie Baker. Clare with a 3-point advantage and about 6.5 minutes to go to half time. Clare's free. Shawley McMahon here, who made the remarkable recovery of coming back from a broken shoulder suffered in the Munster semi-final. Certainly didn't appear to hamper him against Limerick, nor in this match so far. From 65 metres out from his own goal, he scored a point apiece in each of the 2 championship matches so far. Nothing here. Hit 4 wonderful long-range frees in the league final as well against Kilkenny back in early May. So Justin Campbell contesting here, but ahead of them is Ollie Baker. Baker playing really well at midfield. One of the stars so far towards Stephen McNamara, one of the goal scorers. Pádraig Kelly takes it up. Nigel Shaughnessy, great catch by Nigel Shaughnessy, setting Galway on their way. This is anybody's match, but that's poor finishing. And really at that stage, you either wanted to put some pressure on the goalkeeper or at least put it into the forwards. And that was from a good 45 metres out. Pile-up of bodies ends up with Jamesy O'Connor taking possession, but unable to take his score. Well, it's curious that they've avoided the temptation so far to put him into midfield.
Yes, they've avoided that, but I must say in the last 7 or 8 minutes he's come very much more into the game, you know, and Clare will be depending on him very much so today to actually gain victory.
Richie Burke playing in his 8th championship match this afternoon. Here's Liam Doyle, one of Clare's best. Clancy drops it down. Stephen McNamara with the hand pass. Nicely on here for Tui. Fergie Tui, the shot looking for another goal. PJ O'Connell, and the referee has blown his whistle, I think. It's going to be a free in. But my goodness, they were close to getting goal number 3 for the afternoon. Here's what happened. Fergie Tui profited by this lovely hand pass by Stephen McNamara, and then Brendan Keogh felled him there outside the 13-metre line. Jamesy O'Connor looking for his 2nd point of the day. This one from a free, the other one came from play. And it's Clare who extend their lead. It's now Clare 2-4, Galway 6 points.
Every time the ball has gone into the full forward line inside, Galway's defences seem to be in right trouble. And again, we had a situation there where we could have had a 3rd goal for Clare.
Richie Burke. Galway, of course, have played with a slight breeze at their backs in the first half. Swirling wind as Ollie Fahy overpasses to Joe Rabbit, and Rabbit really hasn't been in the match at all so far. Francis Ford, another one of those trying to get to the tempo of this game. But it's Anthony Daly right in the thick of the action. Downfield it sails. Lovely control there by Fergal Hegarty. Hegarty soloing forward. A good block. Taken down. Nigel Shaughnessy and Brendan Keogh combined well that time. Here's Shaughnessy. Young Clare has started at minor at under 21 level as Joe Rabbit breaks the stick, and Ollie Fahy is on his way. This must be a score, and it is. Good point there by Ollie Fahy, his 2nd of the day. Late in this first half, he makes it 2-4 to 7 points. Well, if anybody thinks that Galway are going to give up without a fight in this All-Ireland semi-final and allow Clare's dream to continue to be realised, on a roll Clare may be, but right now Galway ready to stymie them if at all possible. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out, landing 45 metres out from the Galway goal. Nigel Shaughnessy there again. Michael Coleman pulling on it. Brian Lohan put under some pressure, assisted by Shawnee McMahon. PJ O'Connell against 2 or 3 Galway players. Michael Coleman waits for the ball to come down. It comes down as far as Fergie Tui. Tui going through the centre, looking for a score. That's going left, however. 7 wide so far for Clare, 4 for Galway. The statistics so far, as we're just now inside the last 2 minutes of this first half. It's been full of action and quite entertaining. Shawnee McMahon, he really is settling down to play a blinder at centre half back. Back there, Francis Ford, partly blocked by PJ O'Connell, trying to take it up, does so. Without the stick now, back to Anthony Daly. Daly across towards Stephen McNamara's corner. McNamara is doing well against Halibert, causing him lots of problems. He's got support outside, goes inside instead. Well, the original option might have been a better one. Clancy gets it back nonetheless. Once again to Fergie Tui. Looking for a point. That's beautifully struck. Just inside the left-hand post. Fergie Tui's first point. Young player from Clare Castle, just outside Ennis. Where this week there have been saffron and blue flags everywhere and anywhere. The hype has been great as we watch Fergie Tui once again take his chance with some aplomb. Clare setting up 14 scoring chances so far, 11 scoring chances set up for Galway. And you can see the number of scores they've each registered so far, 7 apiece. That's Conor Clancy. A little block there by PJ O'Connell, very instrumental in setting up Gerald Loughlin. Where's it gone? Just to the left. Not too much in that one. But you can see that the first line of defence very often for Clare is their inside forward line or even their half forward line, and there PG O'Connell was in there with a very daring block.
Yes, sir, and the Clare half back line again have proved very staunch again today, and it really is interesting to see Anthony Daly and Brian Lohan and the whole lot of them playing with great determination and driving their forwards on.
The older Galway players gave us a good 10 minutes earlier on in this match. Now they need an awful lot more if they're to stay in contention in a very meaningful way. Back there is Conor O'Donovan. He's one of the young breed, dispossessed by Conor Clancy. And it's Sean Tracy who knocks it to midfield. Rabbit's waiting for it. They need a big return from the Rabbit. Michael Coleman. Anthony Daly takes it down with great style. Has the vision to pick out Ollie Baker. Bottled up by Michael Coleman. They were anticipating a tough fight that they're getting. Fergal Hegarty unable to make headway, stopped by Brendan Keogh. Liam Doyle back there, one-handed, running into a stern challenge from Francis Ford. Now it's Brian Lohan, the full-back up from his full-back position. Kicks forward towards James O'Connor. Here's a scoring chance. Knocked in dangerously, stopped by Richie Burke as the match is in injury time. Over a minute gone of injury time. Touchdown again by Brian Lohan, kicked forward by Ollie Baker. Anthony Daly again having the presence of mind to pick out an unmarked player. Once again it's Fergal Hegarty, patrolling his way through the Galway defence. Outside it goes towards James O'Connell. The last one was low. Hand passed inside towards Stephen McNamara. Great spell this for Clare. This is wonderful, consistent hurling. It's got to be a free in. Well, they were all over Galway in that last spell. Will the younger, fresher Clare players assert themselves even more in the second half? Galway have their problems. And it's illustrated here by this foul. Sean Tracy just had to stop Stephen McNamara. Free's been taken by Jamesy O'Connor, and that's a third point for Jamesy. He doesn't mess around with those frees.
Certainly Galway have problems in the full back line, and I think Galway have problems in the half forward line. They've exerted no pressure whatsoever on in the Clare half back line in the last 15-20 minutes.
And that's the final shot of the first half. It's Clare who go in to the ovation from their crowd. They lead by 5 points. They look full value for that. 2 valuable goals as well by Gerald Loughlin after 17 minutes and Stephen McNamara after 23. And the half-time score here in the Guinness Championship reads Clare 2-6, Galway 7 points.
People wondered how Clare would cope with being at Croke Park for the first time, and the atmosphere here, would it get to them? Well, they've given their answer to that. Can they now complete the job and make it into the All-Ireland final against Offaly? They have 35 minutes to do it. We'll analyse that first half after this commercial break.
The years may come, the years may go, and seasons change. But still, the sign of shopping value is the Homestead on the hill.
Homestead, Homestead brings value home.
This man is about to get the shock of his life. Don't use tipper trucks near overhead power lines. Be warned and look up. Your life could depend on it.
Loughlin and Company Solicitors, Courthouse View, Ennis and Main Street, Scariff, County Clare. For personal attention to your legal requirements, Loughlin and Company, County Clare.
Big Joe Rabbit hurler and farmer scores with Warren Band, the economical cattle.
Let's go back again to our match commentator, Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. All we need now are the teams, of course. Might be handy. They've brought tremendous colour wherever they've gone this year. And you think of Ger Loughlin's prophecy in the dressing room in Thurles after they lost the league final to Kilkenny, that they would win the Munster Championship. They did. And now they're back out here for the second half. I very much doubt they'll make any changes, but that will keep tabs on. There's Cyril Lyons coming out. He will certainly be one of the options, I'm sure, with Jim McInerney. They would certainly be possible switches. Robert Frost there, the chairman of the county board in Clare, very proud man. And these fans will make the long journey home to Clare tonight very, very pleased with themselves if they can hold on. At the moment they're looking good, Tomás.
Yes, Gerald, and they must be very happy with the display in the first half, you know, and from a Galway's point of view, there must be very disappointment with some of their players' performance, especially in the half-forward line, and it's galling to see the way, I mean, Anthony Daly can pick out his forwards with passes from the half-back line there in the first half, with no challenge from a Galway forward or anything like that. And at the other end, every time a Galway defender gets the ball, there's a clear forward there, ready to block them down, ready to hoop them, you know. And I think for the second half, even though they're only 5 points down the team, that's Galway will have to do an awful lot more hurrying and tackling players.
Sean Tracy leads his boys out. John Coleman and also Monty Kearns there, 2 of the selectors, along with Matty Murphy, the team manager. Liam Burke appreciating that Galway needs some rapid scores. Brendan Keogh, the centre half back, along with Michael Coleman.
And one change on the Galway team, we have Tom Helbert coming in for Christy Helbert. That's the only change so far, but they were a long time coming out of the dressing room. A lot of hard talking done at half-time. We'll see if it makes a difference in the second half.
Tom will wear number 18 and presumably play at left corner back in place of Christy, who was one of the stars last year in the All-Ireland semi-final. Sean Tracy, his defence has conceded 2 goals so far. Tom Helbert has gone across to right corner back. Conor O'Donovan is left corner. Dickie Murphy is poised to restart. It's 2-6 to 7 points. Brendan Keogh has switched with Nigel Shaughnessy. It's Brendan Keogh, number 6 at midfield, alongside Michael Coleman. Anthony Daly there, swinging his stick, keeping it away from Justin Campbell. Jerry McInerney. The leg went out there of PJ O'Connell just to try and gain an advantage. Pat Delaney there from Rathdowney and County Laois, the linesman across there, signalling that it's going to be a Clare ball. Ger Loughnane removing the flag on the 45-metre line. Ger, who's really worked the oracle this year alongside Mike McNamara and Tony Considine, who's also a great singer, as we know from their great day back in Thurles. So sending in the ball. Knocked out by Nigel Shaughnessy to Michael Coleman. Down into the corner towards Francis Ford, racing across is Joe Rabbit. Rabbit, who didn't make an impact in the first half. Shawnee McMahon, his marker once again. Rabbit back on the 40. Joe Cooney still at full forward. Here's Ollie Fahy. Fahy trying to take it around a couple of players. Lobbed inside, too much for Joe Rabbit. That's a bad start to the second half for Galway. They really need to get their cohesion going, apply themselves fully to this task. Joe, one of the younger breed, just 25 years of age, but they've got a number of players who are got a lot of mileage on the clock. And they may well be feeling the pace and feeling the heat this afternoon. Over the head of Michael Coleman towards PJ O'Connell. O'Connell taking it down here for Fergie Toohey. The star of the Clare half-forward line during the first half. Ollie Baker in there, manfully against Michael Coleman. Runs back towards Fergal Hegarty, has the presence of mind to pick out Anthony Daly. We await the first score of the second half. Conor Clancy, maybe the provider. Nicely inside the Fergie Toohey towards Gerald Loughlane. Got the first point of the first half. A second goal for Gerald Loughlane. A third goal for Clare in the second minute of the second half. Well, certainly it was Anthony Daly who became the provider. Conor Clancy, lovely hand pass. Toohey involved in the equation as well. And watch this for clinical finishing. Richie Burke had no chance. Well, this is the dream start. For Galway, it's the nightmare scenario. Touched off Ollie Fahy. Now Galway need to show us what they're made of. This Galway side, as we said at the outset, has won All-Irelands at minor, under-21 and senior level, dating back to 1988. But this is where the score was taken magnificently by Gerald Loughlane. Hardly a better finish. He had a very tight space in which to hit that. Joe Cooney. He lobs it in, they're going for a goal. Brian Lohan unchallenged initially. Now he's got the challenges. Ollie Fahy, one of them. And the referee's whistle sounds. It's going to be a free out for Clare. But for Brian Lohan and the others right now, it's a case of keeping the feet on the ground, getting on with the business. What a time to get a third goal right at the start of the second half.
That was a great start for Clare, you know, tremendous finish by Ger O'Loughlin. Maybe tempted to pick it and hit it out of his hands, but a great ground shot. But again, you see there then Joe Cooney with a chance to maybe peg a point back for Galway and decided to lob the ball into square. We're only 2 minutes into the second half. There's still plenty of time left in the game. We've seen teams in the past coming from 10 points back to win matches, you know, so it's early stages yet.
Right now, Galway will have to come from 8 points back. Conor O'Donovan just notches it out a little bit. PJ O'Connell playing with an extra dash in his step now. Nice ball across. Oh, Ger O'Loughlin let it drop down. Here's Clancy. Clancy lobs it in. Tom Helibert holding his man. His man was Ger O'Loughlin, who protests, but the referee says play on. Joe Cooney thought about the pass towards Liam Burke. Over his head, flung inside towards Francis Ford. Ford gets a touch! That's a great goal! That's a wonderful strike by Francis Ford. In the 5th minute of the second half. That lead is pegged back now, quite considerably. 5 between them.
That's a great score for Galway. A high ball coming from Joe Cooney and went in between defenders, and a great flick by Francis Ford and gave it to Fisher no chance in goal.
This was a wonderful score. Look at the wrist stretched out. Intuitively struck inside. Free to Clare at the opposite end. Maybe now it won't be all that plain sailing that they were dreaming about a few seconds ago. PG O'Connell, the injured player. The Clare doctor is Conor Fanning. Colin Flynn is the physio. Colin there with the team doctor. Moving away. The noise here is amazing. Jamesy O'Connor, 2 frees taken so far. He scored 2 points. Here he goes for another. Straight between the posts. 3 points from frees, in fact 4 in all, because he got 1 from play, and the Clare flags flying triumphantly. Plenty of time remaining and only 2 goals in it. But the extra dash is coming from the Banner County. Is there a response from Galway? Ollie Fahy, that's beaten away by Brian Lohan. Ollie Burke to himself, or rather the Galway defence coming in on top of him quickly. Now towards Francis Ford. Ford against Frank Lohan. Lohan can't take it up. That's Ollie Baker again. Brian Lohan, or rather Frank Lohan. Out to Mikey Coleman. And that's over the bar. Great point by the Abbey Knockmoy player. After there was what you might call foostering by some of the defenders. This is where Baker played it back here. The clearance came out only as far as the unmarked Coleman, and with his wily old experience he wasn't going to miss. Dropped from the hands of Fergie Toohey, but on towards Fergal Hegarty. Fouled. Foul conceded there by Brendan Keogh. Played here of course at wing forward in the All-Ireland series in 1993. Tremendous noise all around the 4 corners of Croke Park. A place in the All-Ireland final 4 weeks from now against Offaly. Shawnee McMahon drops it in low. Might have gone for the point. Instead it's Sean Tracy. A little partial block on that by Ger O'Loughlin. Clare get the decision. Jamesy O'Connor to cut it. Going away from goal, PG O'Connell trying to forage against Jerry McInerney. Jerry put under some considerable pressure. O'Connell across the face of goal. Nigel Shaughnessy touches it down. Jamesy O'Connor waiting for it. It's going to be the bar. Great point by Jamesy O'Connor. His 5th of the match. 3 from frees and now 2 from play. And once again it's a 2-point difference. But PG O'Connell set this one up.
He really stuck to his task well against Jerry McInerney. The ball came down to Jamesy O'Connor, and that was enough.
Great score again by James O'Connor. We're certainly clear up playing like a team that have played in Croke Park for many years, you know. You would never think that this is their first big occasion of Croke Park today.
Some, of course, have played here against Dublin in the league. There was also a league quarter-final, I remember, about a year ago. Francis Ford back at the other end. And Francis Ford means business. The goal has done his confidence a lot of good. 5 points the margin once again. He's got a goal and a point. But 5 points is nothing, as we all know, in a game of hurling, especially with so much time remaining. David Fitzgerald's puck out. The wind, if anything, has died quite considerably in the sunshine. Jamesy O'Connor is sparkling. That's going away to the left, however. Clare's first wide of the second half. They're 10th in all. This young teacher at St. Flannan's College, which has been a nursery for Clare emerging hurling stars down the years. Shawnee McMahon under the dropping ball, so too Joe Rabbit. Rabbit trying to exert a greater influence, gets the ball inside towards Justin Campbell. Campbell stopped just outside the large rectangle, comes away to safety. Brian Lowen in quick pursuit. The shadow of the Hogan stand lengthening. Appeals all around. Brendan Coe appealing that it should be a Galway ball, but the linesman Tommy McIntyre signalling that it's going to be a Clare possession. Tommy McIntyre, the linesman, hails from Antrim.
This has to be stage in the game now, Joe, where teams are going to be finding the heat and getting tired, you know, and it's the team with the greater resolve and the hunger to win that's going to come out on top.
Liam Doyle won an All-Ireland club medal here against Kilkenny 2 years ago at junior level. It was a miserably wet afternoon, I seem to remember. Today, the complete opposite. Clancy's inside 6 years ago in the All-Ireland minor semi-final. He was at full forward also, causing problems for Christy Helibert as Galway make changes, and coming into their side is Michael McGrath. The hopper is on. 11 minutes or so into the second half. So hopper is on, and we look around to see who's off. And it's going to be Joe Rabbit, I think, who's going to make that lonely journey across to the dugout. Hasn't been his day, or his county's so far. Michael Coleman, appreciating that with 5 points between the teams, it's still there to play for. It may be a forlorn hope against this all-action, lively Clare team, but Galway will battle. Pride is at stake. Galway get the free. So Joe Cooney, the last time following Clare's third goal, lobbed it in around the house. Can he now put it over the bar? That's what he's aiming to do, and he finds the target. 4 points for Joe Cooney, 2 from play, 2 from frees. And if he'd put over that earlier free we talked about, well, the gap would now be down to an even more manageable proportion. It's a 4-point lead. Clare living on their nerves right now. Galway trying to edge back into this one. Nigel Shaughnessy, a wonderful catch. The Clare fans urging on their team. Likewise, Galway fans up on Hill 16. Joe Cooney towards Liam Burke, caught in there by Frank Lowen. Lowen is held, it's a free out to Clare. The Clare full back line has been magnificent so far. But as Tomás Mulcahy was saying earlier on, the rock upon which this Clare team has been built all season has surely been that half back line of Doyle, McMahon and Daly. David Fitzgerald's free, it's a huge one. Dropping 20 metres in from the Galway goal. Won by Jerry McInerney. Hand pass forward to Michael Coleman. Coleman taking it first time forward, down towards Justin Campbell. Campbell runs into a stern challenge. Frank Lowen, the hand pass across to Liam Doyle.
Doyle in towards Fergie Toohey to PJ O'Connell. O'Connell for Clare, looking for another score. This time stopped by Richie Burke. Liam Doyle under it again. That's wonderful wing-back play. Getting it away from the attentions of Ollie Fahy. A dangerous one. Richie Burke drops it. Ball still running loose in there. There's a chop down. Clare appealing. The referee says free out. That was very close.
But harsh enough decision to me. I think the Clare forward going through, maybe he was pulled down at this stage.
Here we go again. There's where Conor O'Donovan whipped out. Galway get the free, however.
But certainly Galway have come very much into the game there in the last 10 minutes, you know, and they've been hurling very strong, but yet to get a reward from their half-forward line.
Liam Burke has now moved out to left half forward. Francis Ford now operating around the centre. Runs on here for Jamesy O'Connor, gets away from Conor O'Donovan. Jamesy composing himself, doing well. Gerard Loughlin, just trying to apply the finish. Didn't quite touch it, I think. Closely marked by Tom Helibert. Jamesy O'Connor had the right idea. It's only a 4-point difference. 20 minutes to play. Richie Burke's puck out, getting good length into it. Shawnee McMahon breaks it down, loses the stick in the process. Anthony Daly topping it to himself, away from Michael Coleman, down into the corner. Gerard Loughlin beaten by Tom Helibert. Tom was out with a shoulder injury, so wasn't started. Here's Anthony Daly, that's a big one, a huge one, stopped on the line by Richie Burke. From his point of view, it was fortunate that the sun wasn't at his eyes. The sun at this stage in the eyes of Davy Fitzgerald at the opposite end. Ollie Fahy for Galway, in towards Joe Cooney. Beautiful pick up by Cooney, 45 metres out. Put inside towards Justin Campbell. Davy Fitzgerald coming from the goal, making a fine save. Challenge for possession as well he may be. Shawnee McMahon, that was dangerous. Here's Liam Doyle. Scoring chances at either end. Game really opening up. Michael Coleman. Shawnee McMahon dropping it down from the left hand. Pressure applied on him. Inside towards Justin Campbell again. Brian Lohan trying to nurse it away from Davy Fitzgerald's goal. Good clearance by Brian Lohan towards PJ O'Connell. He's beaten by Jerry McInerney. 47 metres out. In towards Ollie Fahy. Ollie now top of the left. Against Michael O'Halloran. That's gone wide. That's a very poor miss of the circumstances. After Galway had done so much of the pressurising.
Well, Jim McInerney has been warming up, if that's the correct term, for the last 5 minutes or so. He's donned his helmet and he's into the field. Don't know as yet who's coming off, I'm afraid, but Jim McInerney has been psyching himself up, warming himself up, and he's into the game.
It seems to me, Tony, that the player is going off is Fergie Toohey, who had a very, very good first half. Hadn't shot as much in the opening minutes of the second half, but it's drastic.
Yes, obviously Clare, they had a few chances in the last couple of minutes and hit maybe one or two bad wides, and have still left Galway very much back in this game.
I think the selectors are laying it on the line. We want to win this, guys. So too Galway. Liam Burke, great ball down, causing problems. Francis Ford wins the free in the centre of the exclusion zone, and Joe Cooney is ready and poised to take it. This guy, Francis Ford, we talked about in the first half. I saw him at minor and under 21 level. He's a prodigious talent. Joe Cooney we know all about. Rolling it up confidently and tapping it over the bar. And the gap is down to 3 points. 5 points for Cooney. 5 frees taken by Joe Cooney and 3 scored. Cheers all around. Davy Fitzgerald ready with the puck out. The crowd ready to break the decibel level, if that's possible. Conor Clancy way out now around the centre of the field. Galway having their best spell in the match. Denied, however, by Liam Doyle. Broken up again. Nigel Shaughnessy, the one who's repulsing the attack, losing the left boot. That's Conor Clancy.
Nigel Shaughnessy definitely, has turned it in the game for Galway, and if they can get more possession into Francis Ford the way he's been informed there in the last number of minutes, I think Galway have a great chance still in this game.
Well, Nigel Shaughnessy, you mentioned, is now centre half back, and it is Keogh and Coleman at midfield for Galway. Shawnee McMahon winning it back. I think he was intending to leave it for Jamesy O'Connor. Good ball forward towards Jim McInerney, and in fact it's Stephen McNamara who's in there. McInerney just ahead of him, in here challenging, but the ball overhit. Well, the Galway dugout there, Pat Malone just second from right, had been captain. There he is, suffered an eye injury some time ago, but thankfully back and able to play at the highest level once again. And also the Galway substitute, taking the liquid here from Dr. Mike McGloin. That seems to be Jackson. The man they call Jackson, of course, Joe McGrath. Meanwhile, play continues, and that sails over the bar from Justin Campbell. Galway now, I think, believe that they have the skill and the craft to lure the Clare ambition. A 2-point game, where once there were 8 points between them. What a comeback, and this by Justin Campbell. Lovely score.
Great score by Justin Campbell, and maybe he can be the man and set the forward now to inspire Galway.
I tell you, Galway may not have got the chemistry right from the outset, but they're getting it right bit by bit. They're also getting the measure of Clare. Conor Clancy. And the Clare players must now begin to have some inner self-doubt. Brendan Keogh. He's made a difference at midfield. Anthony Daly wants to keep his team in front. 15 minutes left. Good ball in, danger here. Richie Burke does magnificently. This is a great semi-final. Liam Burke. Burke on his way. Jamesy O'Connor putting in the challenge. Hopper McGrath. It's still the Hopper. Trying to put one between them. And that's a poor miss by Hopper McGrath. Well, he really had the chance there. I think we're in for a nervous and edgy last 14 minutes of this tie. Both sets of forwards know they're going to get chances. Their nerve will have to hold. What they did on the training ground and were doing earlier on, they'll have to do here in the blazing heat of battle. Gerald Loughlin beaten for it by Michael Coleman. He's been absolutely magnificent. Played his heart out all through the first half. Still Michael Coleman. Towards Joe Cooney under the dropping ball. It's Anthony Daly away here to Pádraig Kelly. Fumbles, then recovers his composure. Liam Doyle put under pressure. Copes admirably. PJ O'Connell, great catch. Jerry McInerney staying off him. O'Connell's shot is high. Is it between the posts? It's out the bar! That might yet prove to be a very important point. Galway had been eating into Clare's lead. And now with about 13 minutes left, O'Connell has stretched Clare's advantage once again. And they lead by 3 points. You can sense the nervousness, the tension all around this place. It's anybody's semi-final, and it's anybody's place in the final. Michael Coleman into the corner, but that's well read by Brian Lowen. Well taken away. Good strong hurling by Galway to set themselves up once again in a possible scoring situation. Francis Ford. The free is going Galway's way. The protest from Frank Lowen. Galway bidding to get into the All-Ireland final for the 17th time. Clare for the 4th. The last time, of course, 1932. This is the challenge here by Lowen. Well, the referee, I think, saw the knock in the back. And Brian Lowen is injured, just outside the large rectangle. And it may well be a calf muscle injury.
Yes, Jerry, I think as Brian came out to clear that last ball, I think he could have pulled his hamstring, you know, and this is a nice place to be in the last 10 minutes of a hamstring injury.
Because he's been playing so confidently and with such great assurance. Clare prepare a substitute on the far side. Seems to be Kenny Morrissey. Dr. Conor Fanning attending to Brian Lowen. He'll want to stay on if at all possible. He looks okay. Joe Cooney is ready to take this free. 20 metres out, right on the sideline. Pat Delaney alongside him. It's a tight angle, it comes off the post, and there was nobody reacting quicker than Liam Doyle to get it out. Not so far, out to Michael McGrath, to Liam Burke. Burke held up by Brian Lowen, and a free in, and this can put 2 points between the teams again. Wow, some battle.
Some battle now, Jaron. Certainly Galway are asking an awful lot of questions about Clare now at this stage, and
we've asked questions about Galway as well. I've been intimating, I suppose, that some of their players had an awful lot of play, Joe Cooney among them, but Joe has responded with craft and skill, and his free taking has been admirable once again. Joe Cooney's now got 6 points in this match, 4 of them coming from frees. 2 points the difference. Just over 10 minutes left. Will it be Galway v Offaly as in 81 or as in 85? Or will it be Clare versus Offaly? Don't miss a trick for the last couple of minutes. Here's Frank Lowen skipping away from the would-be challenges out towards Fergal Hegarty. Hegarty, good solid performer. Inside it goes towards Jim McInerney. Now the full forward against Sean Tracy. That's near the sideline. And Joe McGrath unable to beat it into play. So Pat Fitzgerald here, I think, watching as Clare are considering using another one of their substitute options. That's Matty Murphy there, who is the Galway team manager from Turlough, a teacher based in Gort. It's going to be Fergal Hegarty who's going off, and the player coming on seems to be Alan Neville. Alan Neville, I remember starting against Limerick in a championship match in Ennis about 2 or 3 seasons ago, had to go off injured after about a minute. That was the day Gerald Loughlin came on and scored about a goal and 6 points. Right now they could do it a bit more of that. So could Galway. Here's Francis Ford. Ford against Lowen. The hand pass towards Joe Cooney, tight in the corner. Anthony Daly read the intentions. Great wing back play by Daly. And the other wing back, Liam Doyle, the Bud Dyke man, sending Clare back into the attack once again. Jim McInerney against Sean Tracy. PJ O'Connell, the point scorer a little while ago, on the angle, trying to make a more favourable position for himself. Sean Tracy using his experience, getting the assistance in there of Tom Helibert. And they're doing this afternoon in tremendous heat, remember, in front of an attendance of 54,512. Jerry McInerney using up a couple of valuable seconds. Both sides can win the semi-final, of that there's no doubt. Where at half-time it looked very good from a Clare perspective. Here's Jamesy O'Connor, kicking it into space, waiting for Liam Doyle. Where's the wing forward? That should have been Liam Burke on Doyle, and he takes the score. Liam Doyle's first point comes at a very, very important stage of the match. It's 3-10 to 113. So 19 points to 16. 3 between them. Liam Burke picks it up. Goes by Jamesy O'Connor inside to Joe Cooney. Partial block on that shot by the fullback Brian Lowen. Back to Lowen once again. Brendan Keogh coming in, and it collides there with Liam Burke. Able to continue, I think. That's Alan Neville. Goes over the falling leg there of Nigel Shaughnessy. It'll be a free.
And Joe McGrath coming into the game. Brendan Keogh, it'll be his final action. The Athenry is coming off, so that's Galway's last throw of the dice.
Thank you, Tony. So the man they call Jackson, Joe McGrath, the two McGrath brothers now, part of the Galway 15. There he is, number 23. Member of the Sarsfields club that, of course, won the All-Ireland title 2 years running.
Big free for James O'Connor now. If he can put 4 points between their sides, I think it gives great hope to Clare and everybody in the stands.
6 minutes to go. Here's the free. Where's it landing? Over the bar! 6 points on the day so far for Jamesy O'Connor. The team takes the acclaim of their fans. Substitutes as well. That's Stephen Sheedy there on the left of that group of players, so unfortunate to be out with injury, but what a great pointed free. Now it's up to Galway. Can they now mount another comeback? They came back from 8 points to get as close as 2. Jerry McInerney scooping it away towards himself, but look at the commitment of the Clare men, like frenzied hurlers, so near and yet so far. Throw ball. And Dr. Banji there in the middle of all of that, a great sports fan. So the throw here will involve Michael Coleman and Dolly Baker. From time to time, I'm sure the sound here will pick up the Bowron beaters as well up on the canal end. Part of the Biddy Early Bowron band, hoping to cheer their side onto victory, but Galway trying to deny them. And that'll be another throw ball, this time round the exclusion zone. Tom Helibert, the smiling figure here we're looking at, who replaced his brother Christy at half-time in the Galway full-back line. This time it's Jerry McInerney, and PJ O'Connell comes out towards the Sparrow, Gerald Loughlin, hand-passing it back, beaten down by a combination of 2 Galway players, Shaughnessy and McGrath. Ollie Baker persisting. McGrath once again, not such a long shot, comes straight to Jamesy O'Connor. The hand pass to Ollie Baker. Ollie Baker thought about the pass, now gives it to Conor Clancy. Clancy, that's stopped in there by Sean Tracy. Sean Tracy, poor delivery, putting his side under a little bit of pressure. Tom Helibert, long one downfield. Shawnee McMahon holding it in there. Anthony Daly, all composure, class and style. Jamesy O'Connor, real whiz-of-the-wisp type of player. Players having difficulty at times taking the ball up onto their sticks this afternoon. Grass is cut tight, as we said earlier. That's Jackson McGrath, Nigel Shaughnessy. It comes out to Jamesy O'Connor. O'Connor from the 45-metre line, puts it over! Jamesy O'Connor, now at midfield, exerting a magnificent influence over proceedings, and the scorer of 7 points out of that wonderful tally. Wonderful, that is, if you're a Clare fan, and I gather they are. They've come in their thousands by every manner of means of transport, and if they come back in 4 weeks' time, well, Mike McNamara and Tony Considine and Ger Loughnane, what a day out they'll have. Clare coming back strongly now. The questions were asked by Galway. Clare seem to have the answers. Here's O'Connell. Hand pass into space only as far as Tom Helibert. Referee's whistle has gone because there's a line ball over there.
As you said, Ger, Clare were asked a lot of questions and they've responded tremendously, and I don't think that any of the Clare players out there know the word defeat. They've shown tremendous commitment and tremendous courage.
That's Jackson McGrath, Joe on the Christian name, gathered up by Michael O'Halloran. And we've got a Babs Keating type figure out there right now. Pádraig Kelly, number 5 for Galway, playing without the boots. Jerry McInerney. That's McGrath inside, causing problems. Ollie Fahy, can he get through? Players calling for it. One of them was Francis Ford. That's once again Frank Lohan. Lohan, like his brother Brian, playing magnificently. Stephen McNamara, one of the goal scorers for Clare. There's the bootless wonder, Pádraig Kelly for Galway. Picked up here by Ollie Fahy again. Holds up the point of the attack. Michael McGrath, but the hopper has had a couple of chances that have simply hopped off his stick and gone well wide of the target. Two minutes left. The margin 5 points. Is that enough? Davy Fitzgerald, cheered on, like Alan Neville, like all the others, are Clare on their way to an All-Ireland final. Joe McGrath back there for Galway. And of course they joke in County Clare that they won the All-Ireland in 1914 and war broke out. And they last got to an All-Ireland final in 1932 and Hitler took over. What's going to happen now? Anthony Daly, 3 times he's captained the side to Munster finals. 1 minute left, Ger says. But Ger has seen his captain Anthony Daly take the cup, now take a giant step towards a place in the Guinness Championship final, the All-Ireland Hurling final. Ollie Baker, a huge one, and it's just to the left. And I doubt if the Clare following care a hoot.
It's just as good as the score, I think, for Clare at this stage, Jerry, you know, and it looks all over for Galway at this stage, and they've tried very, very hard in the second half, but came up against a very, very good team today in Clare.
And we can certainly confirm that in the number of chances created by both teams. Clare created 30 scoring chances, Galway 20. And here's Stephen McNamara. A goal and a point to his credit from the first half. He'd like to embellish that. Well, another one going wide. 13 for those of you who are statistically minded. And Galway with 9 wides. Galway, to their credit, made a match of it in the second half. No doubt about that. But there are 5 points between the teams. A very low puck out to Pádraig Kelly. Alan Neville, I think now playing for a place in the starting 15 in the All-Ireland final against Offaly. Or are we being presumptuous? We're almost in injury time. Here comes Jim McInerney. How he'd love to score. But that's 3 in succession now, wides. Well, if Pat Fitzgerald and Christy Todd of Offaly thought they had problems in the past providing enough tickets for fans of Offaly and Clare, the headache that they're going to have in the next 4 weeks is going to be of enormous proportions. Nothing bar a miracle now can stop Galway as we watch Joe McGrath breeze in, looking for a goal. Stopped on the edge of the 20-metre line, and Dickie Murphy, cool as a breeze, in there. And they're certainly ready to invade. Cyril Lyons, one of the great stars of the past, on the left-hand side there. It's going to be a free to Galway. Joe Cooney will be the taker. I'm sure he'll try and do a kind of Johnny Dooley in it. He does. Stopped by David Fitzgerald. Not called on to make the penalty save. This or the penalty. And it's all over. And Clare are in the All-Ireland final of 1995. The exchange of jerseys. There was a wonderful spirit about the occasion. Clare got goals at vital times. In particular their third, which came from Gerard Loughlin's stick. 2 minutes into the second half. That was the platform on which they built a big lead of 8 points. Galway came back strongly, like you'd expect a Galway team to do. Got to within 2 points, but then Clare, sensing a little crisis, exerted themselves once again, hurled magnificently, deserved to be in the final by 3-12 to 1-13. It's Clare versus Offaly in the All-Ireland final in 4 weeks' time.
Me is Tony Considine. Tony, congratulations once again, you're victorious.
Yeah,
it's a good year for Clare.
It's a great year. We knew coming up after the Munster final, Tony, that we had another step to take, and now we've taken that step, but there's still another step to go, you know. So we're looking forward to that day, you know.
An incredible game, very high scoring, very free flowing.
Well, I think we showed today that Clare and Galway can produce good hurling as well. We can produce as good as any other counties in the country, and we're delighted with the performance. But we'll annihilate exactly over the moon with the win, you know. It's fantastic. It's a great day for all Clare people. We weren't here since 1932. I told you when Thurles coming back that we come here and do ourselves proud. We have done that today.
You did a bit of singing in Thurles after the Munster final. When will you be singing tonight?
Well, I think they're supposed to do the singing tonight. My lovely Rosa Clare, I'd say, to be sung all over the county tonight, and probably in Dublin as well, you know.
Congratulations, Tony. Well done.
Thanks very much, Tony. Thank you.
Well, obviously a fantastic day for the hurlers of Clare into the All-Ireland final. We'll be having a chat with our guests and more scenes from Croke Park straight after this commercial break. Do please stay with us. What it means to those Clare players to be in the All-Ireland final?
Oh, it means absolutely everything, Michael. This is this is a great day for Clare. Probably their greatest day in the last 50 or 60 years, there's no doubt about that. I'm sure there's a lot of tears in those Clare people's eyes down there tonight. And one man in particular, I think of John Joe Goggins down there. I was in Tulla there during the week, and I'm sure that man tonight will be quite emotional. It's a fantastic day for Clare, and they've won today, but they've got to the All-Ireland final on merit. They've beaten Cork in the first round, Limerick in the Munster final, and Galway in the All-Ireland semi-final. They've had a hard route. They deserve their place. I'm delighted for them. I congratulate them.
And DJ, now that they're in the All-Ireland final, can they win it?
Well, certainly their fitness, Michael, is top class. They can certainly win it all right. They believe they can do it. Offaly will be thinking other things, but Clare are on their performance today good enough to win it.
Well, certainly, gentlemen, it's going to make it for a fantastic final. Thank you for joining me on the panel here today, and on that note we must leave it from Croke Park, but don't forget, of course, it's an opportunity to see all the action from here today on the Sunday game tonight. Now we're coming to you at a later time this Sunday at 9 o'clock, Network 2, and we'll have our man of the match selections from the two semi-finals. But from all of us here in Croke Park on a historic day for Clare Hurling, bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.
Towards Fergal. Hegarty has the presence of mind to pick out Anthony Daly. We await the first score of the second half. Conor Clancy, maybe the provider. Nicely inside the Fergie Tui. Towards Gerard Loughlin. Got the first point of the first half.